Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm really happy to be back. I know it's been some time since the last post I have done on YouTube. I've got a really good excuse though. I'm writing a book on life protocols, and this is going to help you make less decisions, less of the tiny decisions that you have to make every single day, so that you can have more freedom, so that you can really control the way that you feel at all times. It's really fascinating. I'm really looking forward to share this with you guys. But this is not the topic to today's video. Today's video is going to be about positive affirmations, positive psychology, the pros and cons of positive affirmations, why they don't work on me, and we're going to look at what the Stoics thought about this and what the Stoics did. But hey, if you're new on this channel, my name is Raph, and on this channel we do a lot of videos on personal development, happiness, courage. We talk about Stoic philosophy, we talk about meditation, and a lot of different things like this. So if this is interesting to you, please consider subscribing to the channel. I've actually read a lot of books on positive psychology, and I've researched and studied the law of attraction, optimistic thinking, and what we seem to be really turned on by these days, which is nothing other than hope. Hoping for the best, hoping for this, hoping for that all the time. You can write down your goals on your journal, and you can make your future look so bright and shiny and full of successes, but you're not naive, and you know that there will be a few walls and obstacles along the way. You do want to stay positive, and you've read and you've learned that you should visualize your best self and your best future. Some people even recite positive affirmations every single day in front of the mirror or in the shower or in the car, telling themselves, like, I'm thin and I'm good looking and people love me and I'm rich and I'm wealthy, and all these positive affirmations that, they make sensational videos on YouTube, especially when little kids do it, and it's really cute. It's really, really cute. There's nothing to say about that. But is it really, really efficient? This is what we're going to talk about today. Because the thing is, your brain is much smarter than you are. Your brain is much smarter than yourself, self with a big S. You only use a tiny portion of your brain power, and usually you use the parts you kind of choose to use. So you can affirm all these great things all you want. Your brain knows that you're lying. Even if it's not like, lying has a bad connotation maybe, but your brain knows that it's not true. Maybe you're not lying, but trying to predict the future, that just does not work for your brain. This is not how our brains work. He doesn't care if you're ambitious or if you're naive. The only thing your brain cares about is, no, you're not thin, you're not fat, you're not thin, you're fat, you're not rich, you can hardly pay your bills. No, you're not popular, everybody hates your guts, and you have no friends to count on for your next move. I'm being facetious here, of course, but you understand what I'm talking about. And I can understand the belief that positive self-talk has a positive impact. It has been shown in studies that it has a really good impact on athletes, for example. I really believe that it can, for an athlete, before a big game, he needs to boost his confidence. This I can believe in. You've heard of all these affirmations by Muhammad Ali, for example, when he would say, I'm the greatest, I am the champion of the world, I'm the fastest, I'm the strongest, and so on and so forth. The thing is, those were not positive affirmations. Those were facts in his self and in his brain. Those were absolute facts. Why? He had an immense faith because he knew that he had trained harder than anyone in the world. That, plus his religious faith that was very strong, and like it or not, can get you to believe even more in yourself because you believe in something greater than. So these are not really positive affirmations, these are just reflections of faith into ourselves and into God, or whatever you want to call it. So I've tried positive psychology myself. I've tried positive affirmation, positive thinking. I've had vision boards of all sorts, and I have read most books on the law of attraction that there are out there. There's quite a few. The result, funny enough, is that it has made me even more depressed than I have ever been before. So I wanted to try something else. And I ran into negative psychology, negative affirmation, imagining the worst scenarios possible. What could happen today? I could die. What could happen at that meeting? I could be completely ridiculed, I can be, humiliated and fired. What could happen if I follow my dream career? I could fail miserably because I'm not as talented as I thought. That might sound a little bit harsh, but I'm not the inventor of this technique. Marcus Aurelius, our teacher, our mentor, we've been talking about him so much on this channel, the Emperor of Rome and the most powerful man in the freaking world, used this practice daily. He would imagine the worst possible scenarios for the day and write them down in his journal, known as the Meditations. This is one of the most famous passages on this subject. Remember, for a bit of context, that meditation was written for himself and was never ever meant to be read by anybody else, let alone being published. So I quote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine. And so none of them can hurt me." He would say this to himself, and he would write about this. And I find it fascinating because this guy was the Emperor of Rome, the most powerful man ever to live, even today, because, the Western world was the Roman Empire, from all over Europe, England, North Africa, what is now Turkey, the whole Arab Peninsula and whatnot, Egypt. He was the most powerful man ever to live, and of course in those days it was full power. So for this guy to remind himself every single morning that yes, people are going to hurt himself, are going to try to hurt him, are going to try to overthrow his power, are going to try to meddle behind his back and so on and so forth, but he knows the beauty, he knows how to recognize beauty, and he knows how to recognize evil, and he knows that all these people practicing good and evil are all part of a single consciousness of what you may call nature, and what he called in this particular quote, the divine. So try this for some time. Try this at home every single morning. Recite the worst things that can happen to you. Chances are they won't happen, and you'll be really happy about this. Maybe you're too miserable to be happy about it, but at least you won't be disappointed and frustrated that the lies you keep telling yourself don't magically become true. The lies in those positive affirmations, or however you want to call them, those visualizations. Visualization is really important. We can talk about it on this channel. I'm not saying that visualization is bullshit. On the contrary, it's very, very useful. It's very, very powerful. But visualization and positive affirmation on things that did not happen yet. You might say, fake it until you make it, but that's not how our brains work. You have to be in correlation with how your physicality operates, and telling yourself, I'm thin when you're not yet, or I'm wealthy when you're not yet, or I'm this or and I'm that, and you're not yet these things. You may become these things, and that would be great. And you can practice visualizing the process, not the outcome, the process. We talk about this, we've talked about it on the channel before actually. Really focusing on the process, not the outcome. So if you want to have a business, focus on that business, focus on the value that you're bringing to the world, focus on your partners, on your employees, on operations, on good project management, and so on and so forth. Don't only focus on the outcome. I have a feeling that positive psychology, and let's not say positive psychology as a whole, but positive affirmations that people encourage you to yell every single morning, or even if it's just to write down on your journal, they are just that. They are focusing on an outcome that has not yet happened. And because you want them to be part of who you are, it just doesn't work, because your brain knows that it is not yet true. And that creates a conflict between yourself with a little s and yourself with a big S. So, try it for a while. Try this negative affirmation. It's kind of fun, because it's fun to say like, oh, my life is miserable and nobody loves me and this is going to happen. I'm going to get fired. I'm going to get killed or whatever. It's kind of fun because I have a lot of dark humor maybe. But they're not going to happen, and you're going to be happy for it, and you're going to be prepared when something bad happens. You're going to be prepared when somebody gossips about you. You're going to be prepared if you lose your job. You're going to be preparing your brain for something that might happen, not lying to your brain about something that has not yet happened. That's it for today's video. I'm really looking forward to your comments and to your feedback and what you think about all these things. If you have experience with affirmations, positive or negative, if you're more on the positive side, or if you agree that what Marcus Aurelius is saying has sense to you. So I want this to be a conversation, so please write them down in the comments below so that we can all talk about it, share our experiences, and maybe, you know, change our points of view. That would be awesome. I love when people change my point of view. And yeah, that's it. If you've not done so already, please press the like button. This is not for self-validation, for telling me that I'm a great guy. It's just how YouTube operates, how the YouTube algorithm makes it possible for other people to find those videos. So if you like those videos, you know, like if you want to make sure that other people can find them, there's billions of videos on YouTube. So pressing the like button is a good way of helping me do that. And subscribing to the channel because you don't want to miss the next videos, right? And press this little notification bell so that you get notified. I might do some live videos, so that would be cool if you're notified when I do them, and you can participate in the conversation, question and answers, and so on and so forth. That's it for today. I hope you have a nice day. I'll see you soon. Ciao.